Hello everybody and welcome to Eorzea. And hey, what have I gotten myself into? Hopefully all the streaming hiccups have been corrected. When I streamed the other day there was a delay. Hopefully I fixed it, so if anyone joins they can let me know. I'm gonna try something new. Got inspired. There is a lot of new people coming to Final Fantasy XIV. They're called Sprouts. We'll get to that in a little bit. But there's always room for more people to come into the game. So if you're new or returning, this is definitely the series for you. So make sure you stay tuned if you're watching after the VOD or whatever. I am going to break this down into several different videos. At the beginning, our journey into Final Fantasy XIV from a new player's perspective. So we'll go through creating a character, we'll go through the beginning stages, and then we'll continue it on. I don't know how long this I don't know how long this series will go, but we'll start a new character and we'll go. So, and this will be one of the videos coming here. So we'll pause for a second. So I think the biggest question that people are going to have when either thinking about returning to Final Fantasy XIV or they're new to Final Fantasy XIV is the question of, is it worth playing Final Fantasy XIV in 2025? I know you see videos like this all over the place. Is it worth it? People have different opinions. And I guess this is mine. The biggest thing that I want to add to this is, and people may disagree, but the developers on this game care about this game. Obviously, they can't do everything that a player wants, but they care. I mean, right from the very beginning of this game, when it launched in, what was it, 2010? I do believe it was that year. For 1.0, as they're calling it. The game was horrible. It had a whole bunch of bugs, a whole bunch of problems. I didn't play during that time, but it had a lot of problems. So bad that they literally brought in the new creative director that we lovingly call Yoshi P. And they started a plan. So as it went along, what they had is, I think it was over a year time, what they had was they started creating chaos in the world. The crystals all stopped so you couldn't transport. You got to the point where enemies kept attacking the cities. Up until the very last day of the 1.0, is people literally watched Dahomud, the moon, come crashing to the planet. The game was so bad that they planned on rebuilding it. And the way to do that is in-game, after all this chaos, they literally had this moon crash into the planet, changing everything forever. It's a video online. You should go watch it. And people who were there, they had the beginning of the Realm Reborn video playing, how the thing fell. Louis Swa, which is one of the characters we'll get into, he called on the 12, which we'll get into later as well, and saved everyone. The video continues on and showing that all these warriors of light disappeared from the world and then reappeared later on. The game, the Realm Reborn, essentially starts 5 years later, and several years later, I think 2013, they brought the game back. And obviously, Speaking of the Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward and Stormblood and Endwalker and Shadowbringers, I'm probably saying them out of order, and currently Dawn Trail, is the game has ongoing expansions. There's new content, there's new stories, there's cross-platform play, so you're able to play on PC, console, with seamless integration. So you are able to have many different avenues of playing the game. I did try it try the game on the PlayStation, and I just couldn't get used to the controller controls, I should say. And right now there is a free trial. I was going to research a little bit more, but I ran out of time on exactly what the free trial is. But you can play a long time with this game. So there is a free trial. It is very generous on this free trial. Some things obviously aren't. They're locked for you if you do the free trial. But it's worth. This game is well worth the subscription cost. So bite the bullet if you can. And I think one of the biggest, for me at least, one of the biggest draws to this game is the story. I mean, as you go through the story, there will be epic moments in the cutscenes. There will be upsets. There will be times where you're like, yeah! Like, literally, I've played the game, and I will literally scream out in exclamation, because it's just an awesome scene. And obviously, there's other times where you may be having some dust get in your eyes. The story is great, and we'll get into it, of course. And I suppose lastly, when it comes to is it worth playing Final Fantasy XIV in 2025, I think this game arguably has the nicest player base in MMOs, massively multiplayer online games. Obviously, there will be outliers. There are outliers and everything. You can't just have anything perfect nowadays. But they are the nicest player base. When you ask for help, they actually have an entire program for helping. And of course, we'll get into the whole Sprout thing and the Novice Network and all of that. But you will get help if you ask the question. Sometimes it may beat around the bush, but you will get help if you call out and ask. Now, I'm not talking about help of, oh, help me, I'm broke, I need some coin, oh, someone give me stuff, give me. I'm not talking about that type of nice. What I'm talking about is I cannot figure this dungeon out. I cannot figure out where this quest leads me. What is this UI element? Does this game have blank blank? You ask questions like that sincerely, you will get an answer. So it does have the nicest player base. And I think, as a caveat, or not caveat, but as an extra point, I think that even World of Warcraft veterans can appreciate how Final Fantasy's story, can appreciate Final Fantasy's 14's story and the freedom that you have in the game. And that goes for new players as well. They'll appreciate the accessibility. I was just thinking of funny things to say. Like the free trial. It is so generous. It probably should come with a warning. You are going to get yourself caught. You might log in for just 30 minutes and then suddenly 6 hours The 6 hours have gone by. And you literally, for the most part, probably just stood in Limsa watching chat or watching people. Or you're out harvesting and then knocking up on trees. And I suppose the only real danger of this game is, and I've experienced this, is developing a sudden need to glamour everything you own. Like some of the gear is pretty fugly, and you'll wanna, oh, I like that look, and you'll want to go join. So in the end, is Final Fantasy XIV worth playing in 2025 or 2026 or 2027? Yes, absolutely, yes. Come play this game. If you don't want to bite the bullet on the subscription, go ahead and do the free trial. And try it out. Just be warned that you may get hooked. It will hook you into the game. It is a great game. But if you are watching this, is it worth playing Final Fantasy XIV in 2025 after the live stream? Hey, welcome to the channel. Go ahead, subscribe, follow. I'm live on Twitch and on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe. I am setting up the channel. There will be membership set. There will be obviously sub levels for Twitch. So go ahead, subscribe. Help me out. Be great. So we're going to move on here. Let me update a few things here in the YouTubes. Huh. So I don't know if anyone's watching, but I'm getting an audio warning, so I don't know why I'm getting an audio warning now. So if you're watching and you do see some problems, let me know. All right. Let's move on. Get my game back up here. All right. All right, so this is, well, let's go back. This will be the title screen for Dawn Trail. You can actually go and change around the video, and it will change to the old title screens. And so when you get in here, make sure you click on Movie and Titles. And you can go through all these, which you'll probably see them when playing. But it is all the opening videos that played for all the particular expansions. This would be Heaven's Ward. And then Stormblood came out next. That was a pretty good one. And they changed it to that. And then after Stormblood came Shadowbringers. Oh yeah, you gotta love the music in this game as well. So Shadowbringers, and then Endwalker came out. That concluded the story of that. And then this title screen we saw for quite a while. It was a pretty good title screen. Then obviously we have the Dawn Trail demo, or title screen, which we're now back on. When choosing data centers, they have narrowed everything down. Let me try to turn the music down a little bit here. I don't know how loud it is in the chat, but you have the North American data servers European or Japanese data servers. They're all going to be different places, wherever you want to go. I know a lot of people like to play on Crystal. I particularly play on Aether, and I am on the Fairy server, which so I'm just going to go back there to play on the Fairy server with my new character. And I have several characters. I like to make alts sometimes. But what you're going to do is you're going to click on New Character, and if you... Oh, you know what? We probably should go back a little bit, and this will be the next cutout for character creation. So we'll pause for a moment so I can easily cut things out. All right, so you've gotten past the title screen, and now you're wondering what's going on. If you're a new player, obviously this screen is going to be completely blank for you. There is not going to be any characters. If you're a returning player, your characters will be listed on it. So what we're going to do for this thing is we are going to create a new character. And if you have played before, what's going to happen is once you create the character, you're actually able to save that look, so that if you do create another character, you can easily go right back to that character. And I'm worried about that audio setting. I don't know why it didn't change. And it is under stereo, so I don't know why. Anyway, so what we're going to do is create a new character. And since this is a new player experience, what do you mean? Who I'm talking to? No, I'm just doing a beginner series. For new and returning players. That's who I'm talking to. Yeah, no. Yeah, so I'm going through. I was going to create a new character. Yeah, I can understand the confusion. But what's going to happen is this screen is going to be blank if you're a new player. And if you're a returning player, you will see your characters listed. And again, you can load appearance data if you have any. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a completely new character for this. And I made some notes about this, so we'll go through here. So what you have is your, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, is your hire. This is your default human character. They are the basic model. And then obviously there is the female version of this as well. You will see a lot of hires, I don't know, listed. Players who just want to be just your roundabout human. In fact, if you look at all the trailers, the main character you see in those trailers is actually one of these characters. The next option you have is going to be your Eorzea. Obviously, these are tall, graceful, and constantly, they're tall, graceful, and they're constantly looking down on you. Literally and emotionally. I mean, look at this guy's face. Look at him. He's like, yeah, what are you doing? Don't look at me. You better not choose me. Oh, you know what? Better you choose me. I'm the best. All right? Yeah. And obviously there is the female version of them as well. Now, I've played Eorzea before. They aren't a bad character to choose. They are a bit tall in the game. And you can see them moving a little bit. Obviously, we have it shows the job, so you don't see their job on them. So if you do like your tall and elegant, and let's just make it basic elves, they will be your their go-to choice. You know what? We'll save the Lalafell for last. We'll go up from the bottom. This is the Viera, which is one of the new characters that have been joined. If you played Final Fantasy XII, you do recognize these bunny characters, these bunny girls and boys. Sorry, just looking at stream chat in case I missed anything. So you would recognize the character, and they've recently added in the male Viera. I guess when it first came out, people were always complaining that it was only female, even though when you see a bunny girl, a bunny, they're usually going to be your bunny girls. Occasionally, you will see a bunny boy. Then, before that, they did add the Hrothgar. It started as your male. This is your basically, if you want to role play a lion character, these are pretty good characters to play. I did play a Hrothgar for a while. My personal experience was not the greatest when it comes to Hrothgar. I had some weird interactions with people sending me messages. So it didn't last very long. And then, of course, they recently added the female with the introduction of Dawn Trail. If you've watched any of the videos on Dawn Trail, the main character is going to be a female Hrothgar. You have your Aura, which is your, as commonly known as the Dragon Boys and Girls. So they basically have dragon elements to them. They're pretty good. I played one for a while. If you notice from my screen, one of the characters was that. And then you also have, obviously, the female, which are much smaller, apparently. And then you have, and we're going to get this right, you'll hear everyone calling these characters Rogadin, because that's how it works. But the proper pronunciation is Rugadin. These are Rugadin characters. So you're smart and you can correct people. It's not Rogadin, it's Rugadin. Oh my God, you know what I mean? So these are going to be your big characters. Come on, notes. Obviously, they are big, they are beefy, they are soft-hearted giants. And they have, obviously, the male and the female. The leader of one of the cities, the Limsa Lumensa, is one of the Rugadins. She's a female Rugadins, as commonly known as Fimrose. So these are not bad characters. They are big. So if you do like being a tank and you just want to look big and bulky in your armor, the Rugan is going to be your choice. They are big. Sometimes you almost worry that you will not fit through a doorway. Not my first choice, but they are pretty good characters. Next, you're going to get one of your most common. The cat race with identity crises. I don't know where I was going with that. But they do look pretty good. They do look pretty good in armor and glamour and everything else. You'll see a lot of them hanging out in the city propers. I did play this. Actually, my first choice when I started the game. Before I made a second character because I had to switch servers. They are not bad. My only problem with them is going to be their hands. I personally find that kind of annoying. But if you don't care, then yeah, you can go ahead. But their hands stay like that. At least the male ones do. The females look like they have normal hands. So yeah, maybe one day I'll create a female Makote. I don't know. Maybe now. I don't know. If someone is in chat and has a word to say, they can go ahead and say it. My go-to character is the Lalafell. Tiny balls of chaos. Cute. Yes. Innocent? Oh, absolutely not. I have several Lalafells. They are very cute. The biggest problem I have with people is in-game, they'll talk about how they're going to punch you, and they call you, I should say. They'll call you potato. But it is often cute, and you can play into it. going from there, you can play into the chaos that they elicit. Obviously, there is the male and female character. For this new character, what I'm going to do is go ahead and create a female Lalafell. Me personally, when I'm playing these online role-playing games, I like to play small characters, you know, goblins or dwarves or whatever for Final Fantasy or for World of Warcraft, or even though my main character isn't one of the small characters now. But I like the small characters. And to me, when you put on armors and everything else, the Lalafells to me look pretty cool with their full armor. And we'll look here in a moment once we get to the characters. So if you're watching this video now, if you're watching the live stream, or if you're watching the video afterwards, what race screams your main character energy? What is your go-to choice when it comes to all these races, male or female? What is your go-to choice? You can go ahead and comment in the video below, or in the chat now. But since this is going to be a second video for this beginner series, hey, if you're watching this and you didn't watch the previous video, or if you just want to hear it again, hey, you're watching this video on YouTube, right? Hey, you know you can click that little follow, subscribe button. You can subscribe to my channel and help me out. I will have memberships set up if you want to help out financially as well. If you're on Twitch, hey, go ahead and subscribe on Twitch as well. If you're watching this video afterwards, make sure you go to Twitch and sign it up. I do stream. I'm trying to get a set schedule. I do stream most for like 3 days a week, more time on Saturday and Sunday. I am trying to do a little bit more to get more coherent and consistency going on. But yeah, so far, I hope you're enjoying this beginner series, and I hope I've helped you choose what your race is going to be. So, with that, once you have chosen your race, whether you go male or you go female, you can just hit the little confirm button here. And each race, if we go back, each race is going to have your different versions of them. Each race has that. So you're able to choose what's better to look. Like Eorzea, for example, has the Wildwood or the Dustrite, kind of like your dark elf vibe there. But like I said, each race has that, so you're able to choose whatever you want. Me, like I said, I'm going to choose the Lalafell, and I never know what I want to go. So we're going to go Dunes Folk. I like to look at that, and we'll change it out here in a moment. And then obviously you have all of your normal choices. It is pretty versatile. Lalafells can go tall or they can go short. I'm going to stay right in the center, which is about 36.2 inches tall. Very short. And obviously, if you play female, you're going to have your bust size. Lalafells, obviously, probably because they are like a childhood character, a childlike character, you're not going to see anything. But on the other races, you will. So have fun with adjusting your bust size. Don't go too crazy. Like, for example, don't show that you are a male in real life and you're playing a female character. I can't get that set right. Oh, I guess I can just click on that. And then obviously you're going to have different choices. If you're a new player, some things like your hair is not going to be, you're not going to have a lot of options. You're able to, through game, gain different ones. Oh, just checking chat again here. And then let's choose a face here. You can just highlight them. You don't have to click on them. Kind of like that one. And then you can choose your skin color. Let's give her a nice, decent tan. And this is where I was talking about hairstyles. Is you have a lot of different options on what you can do. Let's see here. What is a good hairdo for this character? Oh, that's a little too much. Let's see here. You know, I like the buns, but I'm not sure I like the top of the hair. What's this look like from behind? There's that one. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, you can just look through all these, start highlighting things. Choose the best one that fits your persona. What I like to do when I'm creating a character is I really like to think about, even if you don't actually act it out, but I like to think about the character's backstory and what their personality is like, and that's how I choose different things. Whichever you do. So you can comment in the video afterwards or in chat. How do you choose the way your character looks? Do you like to make them kind of look like you? Or do you like a little more hands-on and you're like, oh, I gotta be completely different than me? Or do you do like I do and try to think of the role-playing thought in your head? Let me know. I'm curious. And then you're able to choose a hairdo. I always go white. It's just the way that my characters are set. And then, let's see here. Let us kind of... let's do that. Let's have a little bit more of a highlight. Look at that. Look at me. Look at me. All right. Then obviously you can choose your jaw. Different characters get different options. I'm not really seeing any differences there. So we're just going to stay with one. And then obviously you have your different eye choices. Let's turn off the uniqueness. I can't see what I'm doing here. Well, let's go big and round. Yeah, see? That's what you got. You got to make them adorable. Whatever race you have, whether you're male or female, you got to make them adorable. Thank you for answering that, Lily. You can make your iris size a different size. I think I'll go big and bold here. And eye color. Let's see. That's a nice purple color. There we go. She's so cute. Look at her. And then obviously your different eyebrow choices. I'm not seeing a whole lot of difference here, so we're just going to stay with one. And then we can take a look at the nose. I think I'm liking that one. No, that does not look good from the front. A little dainty, cute nose. Why not? And then your different mouth choices. Let's go with number 2, I think. And then your lip color. I don't need any of that. And then your ear shape. Different characters will have different type of ears. Let's go with pointing up, just like it's obviously selected. And then obviously you can make your ears big or small, depending on your personal choices. We're just going to stay with the default. And then you're going to have your facial feature options. Obviously, there'll be different options for male and female. And then we'll go with earrings. The tattoos. I never want to put tattoos on my characters. And then little things you can do to your face. But again, I don't do any of the tattoo type of things. Now, this is something that they've recently added your battle sounds. Before, you didn't know what your character's battle sound was going to be. So you may have this nice little voice, but your battle voice is all weird. Being quiet so I can hear my voice. Now we'll do that voice. Makes her sound like she has a commanding presence. She's small but mighty. All right, so this is your character selection. Obviously, you can randomize the appearance if you want to, but we're not going to do that. And this is what I was talking about, where you can save your appearance data. So what happens is you can save it. You can choose a save slot, and you can go ahead and comment on this as to what it is. We're just going to name this beginner series so that I know that this set is for your beginner series. So now that's saved. The next stage of your character creation is going to be your character's birth date. This really does not affect anything at all in the game as far as I can tell. This is more of just your own thing. The dates are a little bit off, like you can see here, except for this, I guess. As you can see, this says 32, but it's the 31st. So you're able to choose whatever you want. Since it is October and, well, it is my birthday this month, I am going to go ahead and choose my date of birth, which is October 30th. So make sure you come back and wish me happy birthday. Not that I want to be reminded of my age. And then you're able to choose one of the 12 gods, one of the 12, you'll hear that often, in here. So if you have an idea of what type of character you want to play, you're able to go in here. Like Helone is the mover of glaciers and the goddess of war. She is the guardian deity of one of the city-states. Yeah, a day before, but hey, I almost made it. I'm just almost crazy. But this will be your one of the city-states, Ishgard, Helone. So, I mean, I would suppose this would be a good one for if you want to be like a fighter type of idea. Helone may be a good idea, or if you're Elizin. And then you're going to have Menephenia, which is the goddess of love. You have your Thaliak, which is the god of knowledge. So if you're like want to be a caster, that's a good choice. And then Nemea, goddess of fate. And then, yeah, well, you can go through these on your own. I don't need to go through each one. So let me go ahead here and choose one for myself here. Yeah, I'm playing in Lalafell. They like treasure, so I'll go with Nodthal in this one. All right. So this may be separated into a separate video, but it's all part of the character creation process. So we'll go with this. If you've never played a massively multiplayer online RPG, then this may look strange to you. In any group, a proper group is going to be, at least in your limited size parties, is going to be you have one tank, which is the character that's going to take all of the damage. It is their job to literally scream in the face of the monsters, going, "Hey, attack me, attack no one else. Your mother was an elderberry," and making all the mobs fight them. So your job is to gather everyone else, and a lot of times in this tank, you'll hear the phrases like wall to wall, or only pull a certain amount of mobs, or however you want to do that. But that's your job. It's your job to go ahead, and we'll get into specifics on your basic attack things, everything else when we get to the characters. But that's what the tank is. The tank is the person in the front. They are the hurrah warrior. They are the one that's going to rally all their party members and keep them safe, keep them protected. They are the wall for the enemies that are approaching. And there's different choices for the tank. You have your gladiator, which turns into your paladin at level 30. You have your marauder, which is, and we'll go with your job clothes. So your paladin is going to be your tank, is your sword and shield character, and this is your level 50 armor, by the way. I would say that the paladin is going to be your easy mode tank, at least leveling up as you go. It may get a little bit more difficult as you get to higher levels, but they are your go-to easy tank. They have, I would say maybe not easy tank, but they are your typical tank when you think about tanks. They have a shield, they have a sword, they have abilities that is going to allow you to cover another member of your party where you take part of their damage. They do eventually get a heal job later on. Or not a heal job, but it's like it's a heal for them. They'll use both magic and physical attacks. They are a pretty fun race to play, and I think, and this is my opinion, I believe when it comes to what some of the quests are called in the game, relic weapon quests, I think paladins have some of the best looking weapons that you can get in the game. And if you think otherwise, you can go ahead and comment on the video about what you think is better, or whichever. But that is going to be that type of tank. Like I said, they are a fun class to play. Your next option is going to be your marauder. This is the tank that uses an axe. They are literally the stare in the face of the enemy, laugh in their face, and hit them with an axe a bunch of billion times, and do lots and lots and lots and lots of damage while healing yourself. If you like to solo a lot of content, a marauder and eventually the warrior is going to be your go-to choice. A warrior is able to, through their attacks, heal up. And if you ever watch some of the videos on some of the tanks, they'll be from a really low health points, and they'll heal themselves all the way up because of all the damage they do. To me, as a keyboard player, sometimes this character is a little bit difficult to maneuver. Like, for example, with the paladin and the gladiator paladin, their AoE attacks are full circle. It's 360 degrees, so you don't have to worry about where you're facing. You don't have to worry about, how far, I guess you don't have to worry about how far the enemy is away from you, but you don't have to worry about positionals when it comes to the Gladiator or Paladin. When it comes to the Marauder Warrior, AoE attacks are more, at least in the beginning, are more cone. They're directed, so you have to, when you're playing as a tank, you have to position yourself so you're going to hit all the enemies, and possibly, and this is part of being a tank, is situational awareness, is you have to be aware of where your attacks are landing. So you're not bringing other ops. But it's a little bit more difficult when it comes to the keyboard player, for me at least, is trying to position and also attack at the same time and trying to be aware of the battlefield. But it is a fun class to play, and you're able to choose that. Your next class of character is going to be your healers. At the beginning of the game, there is only one. You are able to get healers later on at level 30 and higher levels, but you're going to have your Conjurer, which changes to your White Mage. Your White Mage is your direct healer. Their heals are heal. They do have some attacks, but they literally your run-of-the-mill healer. They are fun to play. They have some very great attacks, but they are a direct healer. So if you do like to, react, I guess you can call it, and heal. So when your party takes damage, you heal them, and then you constantly heal them. Then the Conjurer is your choice to play. Your next class of character is going to be your DPS. In other words, damage per second. There's a lot of choices, and a lot of players are going to be DPS. Which is why a lot of times you'll find, depending on what server you're on, a lot of times you will find that if you queue as a DPS, you might as well learn how to do side quests or crafting or other things, because you will wait forever. And also, depending on the time of day, it could be 30, 40, 50 minutes. It could take a long time. Now, your options for DPS are going to be your Pugilist, which turns into your Monk character. They are going to be fists at the enemy, kicking at the enemy. They are your typical martial artist. They have some pretty good attacks. Their attacks essentially change different forms. Wow, can't speak today. But they change forms to do their attacks. I personally don't see a lot of monks, but they are a fun character to play. Now, you have your Lancer, which if you played like Final Fantasy IV, you will recognize the Lancer. They are your jumpy character. A lot of their attacks are jump up and hit the enemy with the lance, and they turn into your Dragoon. They are a pretty fun character to play. I haven't really played one in a while, but they are pretty fun. So if you do like the spear type of idea, this is definitely a character for you. They are lovingly referred to as the floor tank. They tank the floor. Not much anymore, but the reason they're called the floor tank is when they were the first game first started, or somewhere around there, they had a lot of they either had a lot of physical defense or a lot of magic defense. And what happened was a lot of the bosses at the time had the opposite defense. So if they were magic defense high, there would be a lot of physical attacks, and then they would just be shredded, and they would be on the floor. So a lot of times that's where the Lancer was. They were on the floor. That's why they were frequently called as the floor tank. Your next idea is going to be your Archer, which obviously this is your bow character by the name. Their main weapon obviously is a bow. They turn into a bard, which when I first started this game, I thought it was the strangest idea. Their bow is a harp. They are a fun character. The biggest caveat or biggest thing about them is they will buff your characters, buff the party by playing music, by weaving their music and everything else. They have a lot of flashy abilities. I haven't played an archer in a while, but they are a pretty fun class. So if the bow does appeal to you, they are a good choice. Next is going to be your staple for Final Fantasy, I believe. This would be the Thaumaturge, or Thaumaturge, however you want to pronounce it. They turn into your Black Mage. Now, if you play healer, be prepared. Black Mages have an ability, and I don't remember the ability off the top of my head, but ley lines, that's what it is. When they're in their ley lines, they do more damage. But what happens is their ley lines are stuck on the ground where they cast them, and if there's an AoE, Black Mages do not want to move. So if you're a healer, you're probably going to have to heal the Black Mage a lot because the Black Mage is not going to move. They say, hey, AoE damage, I don't freaking care. I'm going to stand right here and throw some fire and ice. So they are pretty fun. I think they're pretty beefy. They're pretty good. Their main weapon being the staff. Their main abilities essentially are fire. So you cast a bunch of fire spells until your MP reaches 0, which is magic points. I think it's called something different in this game. And then once you do that, you switch over to casting ice spells, which brings your MP back up. And then you switch back to fire to do more damage with a couple of extra damage. Now, the next character in the list, the last character in this case, is going to be your Arcanist. Your Arcanist is... How do we describe this? Their main weapon is going to be a book. I know. Crazy, huh? And as you level in the beginning, you're going to get a little pet eventually called a carbuncle that does stuff. I don't know the top of my head right now. And then once you reach level 30, and again, level 30 is when all of these jobs turn into different classes. With this, you have 2 separate choices, all leveled off your Arcanist. So, if you play an Arcanist, and let's say that you choose to be a summoner, you can actually go pick up another quest that you can switch into a scholar. Now, the summoner is your DPS. The scholar is going to be your healer, which I would like to think that the scholar, when you get to it, is healer easy mode. They are a shield healer, which in other words, they will cast shield. They will cast a shield on the party or the party member or the party, depending on what ability you use. And that shields the players from damage, so you're not having to heal. You also get a fairy that will auto-heal a lot of the characters. And you will find that as a scholar, you're able to do a lot of damage with an ability called Art of War, which is their AoE. And they can just keep damaging like that while their fairy heals the party. Obviously, as a healer, you do have to watch out for the party and switch up your style. But it's a fun class. I played Scholar for a while. At that point, if you start as a healer or pick up a Conjurer at one point, I switched to Scholar. The Scholar is a fun class. So then, of course, eventually when I get to the right level, I pick up some of the other healers that you can get at different levels, which those are completely different. But we'll get to those once we get to those in the list. Now, each of these characters have different starting cities. In the beginning of the game, you have your Limsa Lumensa, you have your Gridania, and you have your Ul'dah. Limsa Lumensa is your pirate city. Essentially, the lore is all the pirates got together and created this city, and they became a city. They aren't like pirates, but they give up the pirate life and they become they made this city, which I to me believe that Linz Lumens is one of the pretty cities. And for tanks, your Marauder is going to start there, and for DPS, your Arcanist is going to start there. So those one if you choose one of those characters, this will be your starting city. Gladiator is going to start in Ul'dah, which is your typical rich city. So the buildings are all subject to that. So your Gladiator is going to start there. Your Pugilist is going to start there. Your and that's all that start there, right? Yeah. And then for your healer, the Conjurer, when you start, is going to start in Gridania, which is your typical forest, your forest city. It's in the middle of the forest. I don't know how else to say about it. So your Conjurer is going to start there, and you'll start in Gridania. Those are your three choices. So depending on what class you choose, depends on where you sit. Actually, I think... No, you actually don't start in the city. Actually, once you click on it. No, it doesn't. Now, that is your character creation in a nutshell. So, I guess if people ask, what character and class should I choose? Or what race should I choose? Or what's the best class to start? You know what? Forget all that. Forget everything about those questions of what's the best start, who's the best thing to start. Choose what resonates with you, right? Your race, choose one that fits you. Choose one that resonates with you when you look at it. Like to me, like I said, I like the small characters, which is why I choose Lalafell. Others may choose, like a lot of people do, may choose the cat boys and girls. Others may choose the bunny girls. The only thing I've seen is people who choose the bunny girls are the ones who really like to walk around in skimpy clothing. But you can choose bunny girl and be anything else, any other clothes. Do not just walk around in skimpy clothes. I know that's the thing with them, but just don't. And then when your class is, the only thing that I can suggest with your classes is going to be for the main scenario, which is the main scenario quest, or in the future will be called MSQ. Choose a DPS. That's my suggestion. Once you're able to, pick up a tank or a healer or both, so that when you do run into where you need to run a dungeon, healer's going to have your quick queues along with the tank. So if you want to get the dungeon done and get it over with, the healer and a tank is the way to go. DPS is going to be your go-to for when you're doing the MSQ, and the healer is everything else. And so the next thing is, well, I get like all this healer anxiety, or I don't want to be in charge with the tank. Don't worry about any of that. Like I said in the beginning of this video, in the beginning of this series, in the beginning of this stream, this is one of the nicest communities. Yes, they are outliers, but this is one of the nicest communities you can find. In all of the games that I played, nicest community. Again, let me caveat by saying there are outliers. You will find crazy things going on. But yeah, choose a DPS, and then and we'll get into the game and we'll get more into it. But you are able in this game to get every single class in the game and level them all. You can level them all to 100 and choose your best classes, or play them all and play them by need or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a DPS. And what do we want to choose? A Pugilist is going to start in Ul'dah, which turns into your monk. Your Lancer starts in Gridania, which turns into the Dragoon. Your Archer's Gridania, your Thaumaturge is Ul'dah, and your Arcus is going to be Limsa. Now, my last character, I choose Arcanist, so I kind of want to avoid that and pick it up later. See, this is where I always run into the problem. What DPS do I want to play? Oh, 1 second. I'm going to have to cut this out of the video, too. 1 second. Sorry, that was my daughter calling. You know what? Let's do a little experiment. Let's ask AI. I've been using a lot of AI and it's been pretty cool. For my beginner series, for my starter character, starting job, should I choose Pugilist, Lancer, Archer, Thaumaturge, or Arcanist? Let's see what it says. Let's see. Pugilist is going to be your fast-paced, flashy melee combat, grading off for showing off motion and rhythm. Let's see, Archer. And then the Arcanist. Oh, see, AI is telling me to start with Arcanist. All right, well, we'll go with Arcanist, I guess. It is one of your best choices as a starting character because it literally gives you 2 characters eventually to start. So we'll go with that. All right, so we'll just go into the game here. Now, your next part of your character creation is going to be what server you want to choose. And apparently, I cannot be on... Wow, I did not realize that my server did not allow anyone new people on it. Huh. And what should my new Lalafell female character be named? Take the choice out of it. You know, I think I chose one already. I want to name my character Susie. So, Susie, if it's not taken already. GreysAlot. Well, why didn't you change? I don't know why they allow you to choose a data center at the beginning, but they won't allow you to change your data center. Well, apparently everything is full. Okay. Well, that doesn't answer my question. Well, apparently I need to quit this and go back and change my data center. Let's go to Crystal and let's go to let's try that. So this is something that you'll run into. Oh, apparently I have characters over here. This is my Aura character. This is my higher character. All right, let's go ahead and load my appearance data. We are done with it. We don't need to save it. Let me just go through all this really quickly. And then we chose Naltal. We chose to be an Arcanist. Mateus. Well, let's go to Mateus, I guess. If you're on Mateus, welcome me. All right. Only took an hour and a half for character creation. There's a lot to it. And of course, now we meet the Q boss. There is a lot to character creation. Obviously, if you've done this a bunch of times, you know what to do. But for new players, and even returning players who may not remember, this is why I want to create this video series. So new players don't feel intimidated in creating the character, in choosing a game to play, or choosing where to go and everything else. And we'll go in here. In the video series on YouTube, as I cut it out, I'll cut out all the cut scenes and everything else. And this is going to be your little starter intro video. If you're a long-time Final Fantasy fan, you'll see the common themes in here. One of these is the crystal. In this particular game, the Mother Crystal is almost like a goddess. She calls you the warrior of light to help save the world. So, if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, do you currently play Final Fantasy XIV, or are you going to be a new player? Or are you just curious? Or are you thinking about returning to Final Fantasy XIV? Let me know in chat, or if you're watching this afterwards, let me know in the comment section. As always, remember to like and subscribe. Follow on YouTube if you can. You can go ahead and get a membership on either YouTube or on Twitch. Trying to build the channel, trying to be more consistent, so I can provide content like this on this and other games. It's a pretty good new player experience, so if you're new, yeah. It's like I just appeared on a wagon. Actually, my last character, I don't think I actually chose Arcanist first. I actually chose a tank first. Which I don't recommend choosing a tank or a healer first. Because those are easy to level through the dungeons and things like that. DPS is just a little bit harder because you have to do side quests with the DPS or wait in very long queues. Depending on what city you choose, you will also get different videos, different intro videos. Like this, you're on a ship. Ulda, you're on a wagon. I haven't done a Grid Down in a while, so I can't remember what that was, but I think that's a wagon as well. Now, what was the button I need? Yeah, I can't remember now. There is a way to make those chat things auto. Now, as a new player, there's a lot of things that I'm going to have that you will not have. And the way I pay for my subscription to Final Fantasy XIV is I have your regular subscription cost, plus I just bit the bullet and went to 9 retainers. You start with 2 when you're able to get them, and retainers being essentially your bank and who you sell through. But I can have up to 9 retainers right now, which is not that cheap. It basically essentially doubles the cost of the subscription, so that may not be for you, but you do get at least 2. Unless you're on the free trial. I don't think you get retainers on the free trial. Now, this choice is actually kind of semi-important. Depending on what you choose, he's going to give you an item, a ring. It'll have different stats on it. So, let's see. Let's do to gain power. Oh no! Spacebar. What this will do is we'll change this symbol to be that, which this will play automatically. Which allows me to go over here and look at my notes. Slowly making our way to the city. So, obviously, if you are a new player, your choice is, hey, I've never been here before. Dry lips.
On a windswept isle in the southwestern corner of the realm, Amidst the roiling waves of the Rotana Sea
Does have a good voice.
lies the maritime city-state of
Limsa Lumensa.
To this haven for bandits and brigands, cutthroats and curs, seekers of both freedom and fortune, comes a lone adventurer. Lone yet not alone, for the hero's arrival has drawn the gaze of the nation's patron deity, Lim Lane. What realm-shaking fate has she descried in the churning waters of this mortal's future?
You gotta say, I look awesome. This is the ring I spoke about earlier.
Through peril and hardship, discovery and triumph, may the navigator guide this brave soul on her life's voyage. Till sea swallows all.
Till sea swallows all, indeed. Final Fantasy XIV. Yes, there is a lot of cutscenes in this game. Do not skip any of them. I know people like to click through and go fast. I gotta go fast, gotta go fast, gotta go fast, got to get in game, gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there. No, you don't. Take your time. Enjoy this wonderful game. Do not come up with things to complain about. Just play the game. Yes, that's me. Fresh adventurer, off the boat. All right, so, and I'll pause for a moment here. And this will be the new video as to your first steps as a new character. As before, I chose the Arcanist. I start in Limsa Lumensa, which is the city, the sea maritime city. And then, of course, there's little tutorial quests that you can go through. And you're able to choose your control scheme, which is going to be gamepad or mouse keyboard. You can switch later. You can play with the controller and all that. I am on PC, so I normally choose mouse and keyboard. And then it's going to go through a little tutorial where you just follow the instructions on here. These are your basic controls. If you've never played a, well, I guess if you've never actually played a game before, you may not recognize these. But they are pretty standard, standard controls, but standard in multiplayer online role-playing games, in this case. And it's going to tell you to follow everything. And then you can well, in this case, you've got to go here. So you're basically walking around. You're hitting your WSAD keys. You can use, as a mouse, you can use a double right and left click to be able to just run without having your hand on the keyboard. And then obviously with this on your right, you can turn around and be able to turn your character around. Using your left, you can just turn the camera around and try to get a better angle about looking around you. Very useful abilities if you play a tank. You always want to be situationally aware as you're pushing your buttons. If there's any enemies coming around you, if there's your healer, or for example, like some of my characters who back up too much and back into other mobs. Yes, I'm not that player. As a tank, you're able to click on them and basically hit your abilities to take them away. All right, so that's your basic controls. Now, before doing anything, this is your basic UI. You are able to, under if you hit escape, or if you go over here, you can go to HUD layout here. You are able to change things around. For instance, what I like to do is move my hotbars this way, and then adding a third hotbar. Now, one of these is going to be your pet hotbar, which we'll get into. I just put that right there. Now, with this, another thing that I like to do is if you see all of these different hotbars options that you have, I do like to grab another one or two. In this case, I'm going to do one. If you right click on it, it activates it. For example, if I went to save and I got out of the HUD layout, this is the hotbar that I just activated. And then with this, you can move it anywhere you want, right? So I'm going to put it over, let's put it over here in this place. Now you're thinking, well, that just hotbar seems like it's in the middle of everything. That's the next step. So you can see that the hotbar UI element is selected. You can click on UI elements, right? And then you can change its orientation to be this way. And obviously, if you need to move it again, you can. And then you can click on this right here. And what I like to do for this particular hotbar, another phone call. Sorry about that. Got to know what I'm doing tomorrow for my job. Apparently I forgot to turn off something here. 1 second. All right, so with the hotbar, and you can drop it down to this size or any other size if you want. If you can't see very well, you can put it way up. But for this particular hotbar, for the reasons I like to save it just like that. So we'll move it a little bit further over here. All right. And that is saved to there. So you can see that now I have 3 hotbars here. And then this right here is your lock. Right now it is open. It allows you to take things and move things around. This is, oh, I forgot. I also like to put a hotbar over here as well. And I just like to leave that alone. So we have that. This is where I'm going to put things like my sprint, which you won't get until later, apparently. And then I don't need any of these, so I can just right-click and remove. So, as a starting character, you're only going to have 1 ability. And if you play in dungeons and you sink down, which means if you say you're level 100 and you do the leveling roulette and they put you in the first dungeon, which is a Satasha, which is about level 15 or so, you'll be synced down to your level 15 character. At that point, you may only have 1 or 2 abilities to use, and I guess that's one of the drawbacks of leveling level syncing down. So, with that said, there are a couple things that you can switch out. If you click on here or click escape and go to character configuration, there are a couple of UI elements that you can use. And maybe I'll put out a separate video on better settings on what's good for you. Now, this is your normal inventory. It's under tabs, which may work better for you. It all depends on what your style is. This is your normal bag. You can stick it onto expanded, which is going to turn it into 2. And you're able to look through here and do all of that. And then the other option is going to be your open all. Now, I don't normally use this one, but we're going to take a look at it. This makes it very small. It shows all of your items into one screen. So if you do like that option, definitely go to open all. And then obviously there are multiple tabs for that. Now, like I said, I like to leave it on expanded. It allows me to have 2 windows on here, and they're a little bit easier to see on that. Now, your retainer, which you won't get until later unless you're free trial. Like I said, I don't think they do get retainers. You can set that up to expanded as well. And then eventually, I think it's later in the MSQ that you get access to that. So it'll go from there. Now, the other options that you can look at, let me go ahead and find it here. Here it is. Yeah, that's what I was hearing. I almost started this as just getting a new account and starting it as a free trial, just to go through that as a new player experience. But I'm like, no, I'll just do this, having all the options to be able to show. Now, obviously through the quests and everything else, what's going to happen is that you will get an item, say an armor piece or something from your mob drops or whatever. Right now, if you get an armor piece, it's going to go directly to your armory chest. Do I have access to the armory chest at this level? Yes, I do. Now you can hit Control I. I don't know what it is on controller, but Control I opens up your armory chest. Now, every single time you get a weapon, a helmet piece, a chest piece, and all these other pieces, it's going to go right here into your armor piece, into your armory chest. With this many jobs available to you, and this many crafting jobs and gathering jobs, this fills up so quickly. Especially if you don't take your time and just stay with one character for a while, or up to 3 characters, as we'll get to going through that. This can get chaotic and fill up very quickly. So you kind of have to be inventory management when it comes to that. So if there's a piece of gear that you no longer need for, let's say that I'm an Arcanist right now, and I've leveled up to the max level. I've taken all the other casters and I've leveled up to max level, and I no longer need any caster gear, or all my characters are beyond the level of the gear, then it's going to be just stuck in here until you pull it out and do whatever you do with it. So this option allows you to store all newly obtained items in your last inventory slot. So it's always in your inventory slot. I do like to stick that on, and then take it off of this. And this will just store all your newly obtained items, every single item within your inventory, and it's a lot easier to get to this inventory and sell it to vendors or whatever. So I do like to set it on that. So that is one setting that you can have. Let's see here. When you play a game and everything becomes automatic, you forget these little things. So let me add this in here. So if you are watching this video after, or you're watching right now, let me know if there's any additional questions that you may have if you have started the game and you're just lost, or something I haven't mentioned. Just mention in the comments, and I'll either make a separate video or I'll respond to the comment in the video, and so that we can help all the new players and the returning players remember and learn how to play the game. Because again, as I said, this is an awesome game, but there is a lot to it. It can get confusing. There's a lot of menus, there's a lot of options, there's a lot of things that go on, and I may not get to it all. So just, comment on the video or comment in the chat, and we'll go from there. I just want to double check here. Hopefully it doesn't go double. Got a lot of people on YouTube at the moment. Oh, I forgot to add something here. Hold on. Not too sure why the game isn't selected on YouTube. I thought I saved it. Huh. Give me 1 second while I do some maintenance here. And obviously I'll cut this part out. There we go. Sorry if you came here wondering what was going on YouTube and Okay. That's weird. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe. Do all that. All right, let's go back to Streamlabs. And let's take a look here. Ah, here's another option. I don't have any yet. But what's going to happen is when I pick up this first quest, it's, you know what, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's just go ahead and speak to this person right here. And by just right-clicking on them, and obviously there's going to be tutorials popping up, and we can go ahead and start this conversation. All right, so just telling you different things where you can go. Then it'll be all listed here. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. So we'll go back into the character configuration and we'll scroll back down here. To this right here. Now, this is going to be your class quests, things like that, and it's going to be listed right here. And this is going to be your main scenario quest. Now, obviously, if you're new, it's going to be a long time, but eventually you will run out of main scenario quests until the next patch or next update. And what happens is this will stay up here and have like a bunch of question marks or something. With this selected, once all the quests are done, this will disappear. And once new quests are added, this will reappear. It just takes off the clutter of your UI. And I don't think anything else. We can go ahead and display targets remaining XP percentage, which instead of just a straight bar, it will have a percentage. It's very helpful later on. But we'll just apply that right now. Now, I don't think there were any other options right now that I need to worry about. There are a couple things that we can add later, but that's good for right now. And let's go ahead and grab the corner here and just extend our chat window for a little bit here. Also, I forgot to mention when we started that each race gets its own race gear. And it's going to be your Lottafellan Kaftan, Lottafellan wristbands, and so on and so forth. Keep these sets in your inventory. Because what's going to happen is if you do pick up a new class and you start that class and you get the gear, this or any others will automatically be added, so you can have that. Or if you just like to role play your race, these are good sets of clothes to go with. All right, we are at 1 hour and 48 minutes. I was going to go for 2 hours today, so we can continue on a little bit. And then it wants me to go over here to the lift attendant. And I think this was... You know what? We'll just follow the quest line and go from there. Let me not jump ahead. Let me not show my veteran knowledge. And then obviously this takes you up to the pub, which is your Adventurers Guild typically. In Ulda that has a different one. In Gridani is a different one, and obviously Limsa has a different one. And this is going to be your main dude for a little while. He is the head of the Limsa Adventurers Guild. And this just is explaining different things about it. Obviously, once you're playing, you can go ahead and read. Essentially, what they're talking about is no one remembers who the Warriors of Light are. Because of the whole thing about them disappearing and reappearing, everyone has forgotten who the Warriors of Light are. All they remember them as, they only remember them as Warriors of Light. Heck yeah! Yes, I did. Are you blaming me for a pirate attack? He's lying to them. The big ones are Rugadins. All right, we have completed our first quest, and that is your little tutorial for the game. And we leveled up, and then obviously these are going to give you your tutorials, so if you don't know, go ahead and read them. All right. And then you'll see that he has another quest on the head, so we'll go ahead and pick on his head. So we'll go ahead and pick that up and continue the quest. Oh. It actually tells you what quest to talk. Interesting. This is going to tell you where everything is. Now, I did get another piece of gear. So, obviously, if you look at the ring, there's another ring here. The easiest way to look at this is if you have a new piece of gear, right? This option is going to open up a window. It's going to analyze your gear. It's going to analyze any gear you may have in your inventory. And it will automatically make suggestions for recommended gear. Obviously, take this with a grain of salt, because a lot of times it will try to put on some gear that you don't want to put on. Like it doesn't have your right stats or whatever, so you just want to make sure that you know. But in this case, this is going to give me additional critical hit. And then obviously the little arrows there, so we hit equip, and it equips it. The other thing you can do, and this becomes more important later on, once you start getting more classes, you can click on this little window, right? Right now we have no gear set saved. For each new class that you get, you want to click on this little plus symbol here. As you can see, the Arcanist is listed, right? Now, obviously, if you get a new class, you start a new class by putting on a new weapon, you can do this again, and it will automatically save it to this. It will also update your gear list as well as you go. But right now, we only have one, so there's not much that we need to do. Now, this one we have to pick up, this side quest here. But it's up to you whether or not you want to just go through side quests as you go. You can save them for later on when you have a different DPS or whichever. I know I usually try to say that I'll save them, but I never end up completing them. So we're just going to pick up every single side quest that we can find, and we'll just go ahead and complete them. Just so that we can go along. And then obviously it's talking to the attendant again. Yeah, we'll worry about all that later. What I do suggest, and sometimes it doesn't work, is you can go to your chat window and let's just click on shout to be able to shout to the entire zone. And I'm going to ask, can anyone invite me to the Novice Network? And we're going to go ahead and see if that works. All right, so I just shouted in the whole zone, and I'm just going to say thank you for someone to invite me. So this guy would be a mentor, and they can basically click invite you, and this is going to be your Novice Network. It's a place where beginner players can share their experiences and pose questions on adventuring to participating mentors. Be sure to take full advantage of this channel, but also remember to be polite and respectful while doing so. Which, I think this last little bit here is the most important thing everyone should remember. Be polite and respectful. Just because you don't like what you see, just because you don't like what is said, just because you don't like something about the game, just because you don't like the color of this rock, just because you don't like because these are shiny, just because whatever, don't complain about it. That's my rant. This is a place for you to find information and sometimes have some funny chat. You can go ahead and see that there are plenty of mentors. Not all of them are helpful, but there are plenty of mentors. There's a whole bunch. There's also a whole bunch of what we call sprouts. Now, if you see by my symbol right here, there is a sprout symbol. This means that I am a new player. Shh, don't tell anyone. But I am a new player. I have never played this game before. This will stay on until, I don't know what the current listing is, but this will stay on up until a certain point in how many hours I played. This essentially lets people know, hey, this is a new player. We should help them out. And that's that. you'll see a lot of people, like that one has a sprout, and go from there. So we're going to leave it right here, and we're going to pick up this quest later on, and we'll get more about the Novice Network here. But this is the first steps video. This will be another video that I will cut out and put up on YouTube. So obviously, if you're watching this video after the fact, after the live stream, which I don't know when I'll be posting videos up on YouTube. If you're watching this after the fact, please watch. If you have any questions, if you're a new player, for returning player, let me know. If you have any additional questions that I may not have answered in these sections of videos, make sure that you ask that in the comments below the video. And if you can, it will help out a lot. Please subscribe to the channel or follow on Twitch. Like the video. It's going to help the algorithm, help the videos get out to people who may need the information. So please, please, please help out the channel. I am trying to grow as a streamer. I just recently started streaming on Twitch, and I've been on YouTube for a little while. I took a little break for half a year or so. But I'm trying to build it back up. So please help out. And again, ask any questions you may find. But for now, and this is for the live stream as well, I'm going to end this live stream now. So thank you for watching. Please, as you heard, subscribe, follow, and all of that. In the next coming little weeks, I'm going to be, I have a Discord, it's in the description. I'm going to be fleshing that out to be able to add information there and fleshing out this beginner series and go from there. I am going to try to stream this beginner series on at least 3 days during the week. On the weekends, I'm going to be playing my main character for 4 or 5 hours every a Saturday and Sunday. That's the plan going forward. That's the schedule. I think right now I have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as I think the weekdays, and then obviously Saturday and Sunday morning. So make sure that you are subscribing and following and all that, and you'll get the notification when I go live. So, but for now, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Lily, for chatting up the Twitch chat. And for now,